Folks, we're here at Escape the Rock. We're at Castle Rock South out here in PA. We are with the pound for pound numero uno, number one wrestler in the world, Mr. Open Stance himself, JB74KG. He has been dubbed by South Jersey, his home, as the J Train. And today we are here and very proud and excited to have the J Train with us here today, folks. How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good, man. Thanks for having me out here. I'm happy to be here and be a part of this program and watch some good wrestling today.
What's the last time you went to a high school event?
You know what? I couldn't even tell you. I may have been to one or two high school wrestling matches since I graduated from high school. So it's definitely a different level of wrestling once you step up to the collegiate level and the international level. But we have some studs here, so there's some good wrestling going on, high quality stuff.
Now, if we can real quick just give the folks at home a real quick understanding of the kind of athlete you were in high school. Let's go back to your freshman year, and,
yes, sir.
And obviously everybody knows who you are today, so they see more or less the finished product. So I don't think everyone understands the process that you went through to become the Jordan Burroughs that they see today. As a freshman in high school, would you like to tell these people what your record was?
Oh yeah, as a freshman, I was 16-10. A freshman at Winslow Township High School. Sophomore year, I was, I think, 29-4 as a sophomore. Junior year, I finished 35-4.
Yeah, two losses early, and then you might have only had the 3 losses, right? Yeah, the 1 in the state finals and then 2 at the Beast.
And 2 at the Beast.
Yeah, so 3. So I don't think these people know you didn't place in the states obviously as a freshman. You didn't place as a sophomore, and then came back strong. So you had a really big jump between sophomore and junior year, and placed in the state finals as a junior, losing an overtime match to
Frank the Tank,
Frank the Tank, Southern Regional, and then came back as a senior and won the whole thing, and then capped that off with the senior national title 2006, which actually helped Team New Jersey win the team championship at the senior national.
Yeah, that was awesome. Team New Jersey was tough. We had a bunch of studs early in those years. I actually look back at my state championship finals photo, and I think 4 out of the guys that were state champs that year ended up becoming national champs in NCAA. So Frank Monero was the national champ, Jordan Burroughs, Darian Caldwell, and then Zach Ray. So we had 4 guys all from 1 year in high school wrestling in a single state become NCAA national champs. Is awesome stuff.
Yeah, Jersey pride. So you went to Nebraska, and again, people may not have understood the process that it took for you to adapt to competing at the collegiate level, which a lot of these youngsters here today are going to have to adapt to really quick. What was your record as a freshman, if you would like to share that?
Worse than high school. Surprisingly, worse than high school was my freshman year. I was 16-13 as a freshman at University of Nebraska.
And we all know that you came back as a sophomore, took 3rd place at the NCAA's. Junior year, came back, went undefeated, won the national championship, defeating 3 national champs in the same season, which is one of the better seasons that we've seen in college wrestling in years. That was an amazing season.
Thank you.
And then moved up in weight, challenged quite a few people, including the returning national champion, the undefeated national champion in Andrew Howe, and then won that weight class.
Yes, sir.
What was the process like jumping from your sophomore to your junior to your senior year, which you were clearly making progress in developing as an athlete in each of those seasons? What was it taking for you to get that much better in that short period of time?
I think one of the philosophies that Coach Manning and the rest of the coaching staff in Nebraska teaches us on a daily basis is just to win each day. So forget about the big picture. Just think about becoming a better wrestler on that particular day. So each and every time I step into the wrestling room, the weight room, on the track, I want to become a better wrestler. I want to get in better shape. I want to improve on my technique. I want to sharpen on my skills. And that's something that I've really taken pride in doing these last couple of years, is just improving each day. So each and every year I try to improve on a single dynamic of my wrestling ability, and it's always worked out well for me. So I don't look at the big picture. I just look at each day, win each day, and it's worked out really well for me.
So it's a lot easier if you subscribe to that school of thought, which obviously you have, and Manning and the other coaches out at Nebraska have done such a great job. If you subscribe to that philosophy, what happens is it's easier for you to be successful on such a short period. I mean, you're not waiting 5 years for something to come to fruition.
For sure.
I mean, you're accomplishing a goal on a daily basis. What we see right now is you went from 2011, you were, in some people's eyes, a surprise world champ. 2012, everybody expected you to be the guy that would walk out and win. You won. 2013, you obviously got hurt right leading up to the main event. Can you explain a little bit of that for everybody? Like should be one of the biggest stories. This should be a lead-in story on ESPN. Exactly what happened. You want to explain how you got hurt and what it actually entailed, what the injury was?
Yeah, for sure. So it was actually a crazy story. So it was the last training camp leading up to the World Championships. We were out in Colorado Springs at the Olympic Training Center, me and the rest of the national team, which is the top 3 guys at each weight class in the United States. And we were just finishing up practice. So it was the last practice of the day, the last sprint of the practice of that day. And obviously I'm a competitor. I want to win every sprint, so I'm not going to let anybody beat me. And in that wrestling room, it's no buffer zone to finish and stop. So I had to slow up and potentially lose the race, and I didn't want to lose. So I stopped myself by jumping up onto the wall and boom, snapped my ankle and actually fractured my medial malleolus on my left ankle. So I had emergency surgery the very next day. We didn't have much time. It was actually 27 days from the day I broke my ankle until the day I had to step out on the mat and Budapest to compete. So we had a great doctor. He took me in right away for emergency surgery, put a plate and 5 screws into my left ankle, and basically the recovery process started. So I took maybe 3 weeks off the mat. I couldn't even walk for 2 weeks, and the process was going a little bit slower than I hoped it would be. So when week 2 came, they said I was supposed to be walking by then, and I still wasn't. I'm like, oh crap, man, I might not be able to compete. But I had a great training staff around me. My fiance at the time was extremely supportive and encouraging. Coach Manning, he's always going to be there, lifting me up each and every day. So basically, I had no choice. I was basically, he's the captain and I'm the soldier, and I do what he tells me to do. And he put me in the right position to go out there and compete. Felt good leading up to the World Championships. Drilled a little bit with Brian Snyder when I got to Budapest, and felt like I could go out there and still compete at a high level. I didn't wrestle as well as I hoped, but I still did some pretty good stuff to be proud of, and came away with my 3rd World Championship, which was an amazing story and an amazing feat for me.
We watched you earlier in that event. You looked like you were a little bit, the ankle hadn't really affected you early in the event, and you wrestled a little sharper earlier. And then did it actually start to settle in?